you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I got to ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that.
What happens when Karoline Leavitt gets out of bed, switches on the drama, and sues The View like it's her regular job? Apparently, big trouble for the daytime hosts. That's right, Karoline is back in court with a lawsuit so huge it almost feels like its own city. Could this be the final sparkling moment that ends The View? Is Joy Behar about to start a small side hustle knitting slightly sarcastic pillows on Etsy just to help cover the costs? Don't blink, because this TV showdown is getting messier than a wine fight at a Real Housewives reunion.
It appears to be a fierce operator, but she's also 27 and arguably quite glamorous. So of course, the kind and progressive voices at The View reacted to her appointment like this.
I think she's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Karoline Leavitt just did the unthinkable once again. She stepped straight into the flashy chaos of daytime TV, faced off with the most talkative group of on-air interrupters, and filed a lawsuit that shook their studio. Yes, again, because one courtroom clash clearly wasn't enough to convince The View's producers to stop chasing controversy like it's part of their brand.
And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him, they have shamed him, they have lied about him consistently on their show.
If this breakdown gets you interested, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to us. Now, it turns out Karoline isn't just reacting to liberal media moments. She has almost built a reputation for taking things to court with the same determination most people use to pull their dog out of a muddy puddle. And with this latest legal move, she might have finally done it. The View isn't just shaken, it's wobbling like a slightly unsteady table at a reality show reunion.
And the abuse continued.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
So, what sparked this latest legal move from Karoline? Apparently, she reached her limit after once again becoming the main topic on The View's endless cycle of outrage. No air quotes needed, we all know how it goes. 5 hosts, a couple of coffee mugs, and an endless stream of polished condescension. But Karoline didn't just scroll past it like most people would. She took it to court. And this time, it's not something small. It's a lawsuit so big it might even show up on NASA's next satellite scan.
I mean, you'll deal with these kind of crazy questions from the White House podium. How do you plan to deal with it?
Yes, I absolutely will. I feel prepared to do that. I've been facing the media now, speaking on behalf of President Trump on the campaign trail for the past couple of years, and we are expecting the media to be hostile. However, Kaylee, if you do talk to a lot of these reporters off the record, they will tell you they look forward to more press transparency and access. And while we will expose the fake news when they are fake, we will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump. I can also assure the American people that they're going to be hearing directly from the leader of the free world.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about hurt feelings, it's about alleged defamation, damage to reputation, and what Karoline's legal team is calling a full-scale smear campaign dressed up as casual talk. Think of it like lighting a match in a candle shop and then blaming the mess on aromatherapy. According to insiders, Leavitt's case is built on a simple idea: if a nationally televised show keeps treating someone like a political piñata, don't be surprised when it swings back. While the hosts may see it as playful banter, her legal team views it as a targeted hit, presented in high definition between makeup segments and sponsor messages. But here's the smart part: she's not just reacting loudly. She's approaching this with precision, as if every moment is documented and every comment carefully tracked. And she's not only focusing on the hosts, she's aiming at the entire system. If The View were a house, her lawsuit would include everything from the carpet to the chandelier, even the intern bringing in lukewarm croissants. Financially, this is serious. Reports suggest ABC's accounting team is under pressure, still remembering the last legal clash. Costs are rising, insurance concerns growing. Behind the scenes, producers are quietly mentioning the word settlement like it's something they can't ignore.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even.
Backstage, it's a whole different story. Staffers are reportedly tiptoeing through the studio like they're dodging subpoenas instead of camera cables. Morale? Imagine a glitter bomb going off during a tax audit. Joy may still be joking on air, but behind the scenes, budget cuts are hitting harder than her punchlines. Promo shoots are disappearing, guest appearances quietly fading, and even the snack table, rumor has it, has gone from lavish spreads to bring your own granola bar. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt is thriving. She's turned this legal roller coaster into a political stage play so sharp and precise it makes Shakespeare look like improv night at a dive bar. In conservative circles, she's become the figure who brought the cackling colossus to its knees with nothing but court filings and icy composure. No yelling, just devastatingly calculated legal arguments, but don't mistake this for a PR stunt. It's a financial siege. Her team isn't only asking for damages, they're building a case that claims a long-running, carefully planned campaign of on-air character attacks, all disguised as daytime fun. If it succeeds, the payout wouldn't just sting, it could shake the show's entire financial foundation. And while the network tries to keep a brave face, insiders say it's all smoke and mirrors. Legal teams are on high alert, PR is reportedly in meltdown mode, and some advertisers are already edging toward the exits, clutching their marketing budgets like lifeboats.
First of all, the Democrat Party has gone woke and now they have gone broke. They have their lowest approval ratings ever, and they are rallying around two of the most far-left leaders in their party, AOC and Jasmine Crockett. So that tells you the current state of the Democrat Party.
Apparently, some brands weren't thrilled to realize they'd been sponsoring what could soon become Exhibit A in a headline-grabbing courtroom showdown. And here's where it gets interesting. While The View scrambles to plug the leaks, Karoline's social media is exploding. Every new court document is pure content gold: more clicks, more likes, more donations. She's gone from being a news subject to a full-on headline machine fueled by legal drama and iced coffee. Conservative commentators are already calling her the future of media warfare, not by yelling at cameras, but by dragging them into court. While others rant on podcasts, Karoline is dropping court filings like precision strikes. It's not just conservatism, it's courtroom conservatism: fewer hot takes, more cease and desist letters, and ratings? Not exactly record-breaking. With the lawsuit looming and the backstage vibe barely holding together, viewers are reportedly tuning out. The show now feels less like a cultural must-watch and more like a PR liability. Sponsorships that once flowed freely are drying up fast. No brand wants its logo tied to a potential defamation claim. Not exactly the pitch that sells mascara and yoga mats. One insider even joked that the next sponsor might be a law firm. Meanwhile, Karoline isn't slowing down. Her team is reportedly combing through old footage, building what could turn into a growing series of lawsuits. If The View thought this was a one-and-done situation, they might want to start rewatching their own episodes, with a lawyer.
Do know that you're walking into hostile territory, right?
Certainly do. And look, I think I'm well prepared for that. And I'm incredibly honored that President Trump has instilled confidence in me to speak on his behalf behind the White House podium. It's been an honor to have a front row seat to the greatest political comeback in history. And as you mentioned in your monologue, Sean, President Trump is putting together a brilliant cabinet of fantastic America First fighters, from Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who are going to cut the waste out of our federal bureaucracy, to Susie Wiles, who is going to serve as the first female chief of staff in history. Take that, Mark Cuban, to Tom Homan. No one better to secure the border than him.
The mission? A full-on reckoning with what Karoline calls the mean girls and makeup empire of daytime TV. And if she wins, the word cancelled might get a whole new meaning. Even a fraction of what her team is asking for could leave The View with fewer hosts, fewer sponsors, and far fewer chances to throw shade without someone dialing their lawyer. But here's the twist: Leavitt has mastered the double identity, villain in one world, hero in another. To The View fans, she's the political boogeyman. To her supporters, she's a folk hero, armed with legal briefs and unshakable resolve. It's not just controversy, it's branding. She isn't avoiding drama, she's packaging it, selling it, and cashing in. And if anyone thinks this is about ego, think again. Karoline's moves are pure strategy. Every lawsuit is like a campaign ad, every legal win a poll boost. She's not just building a public persona, she's creating a political resume that screams less pundit, more precision powerhouse in heels. While The View clings to PR spin and hopes for calm, Karoline is already eyeing the next storm. This isn't about one bad segment, it's about taking apart what she sees as a decades-old institution that weaponized gossip under the flattering studio lights.
I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe.
To hire a spokesperson just so that Elon Musk doesn't put out tweets that then confuse federal workers.
Are my press briefings not good enough for you?
Karoline Leavitt didn't just file a lawsuit, she built a full-blown political brand. Courtrooms have become her stage, depositions her content drops. With every hearing under harsh lights and legal drama, each court date feels like a new episode in the Karoline cinematic universe, complete with rage-tinted headlines, conspiracy-fueled commentary, and a social media presence fueled by coffee, contempt, and constitutional fireworks, and it's working. Her social media numbers are skyrocketing, followers climbing faster than rent, engagement through the roof, and her donation link getting more clicks than The View's applause track. Forget traditional ads, Karoline is the viral sensation, playing both crusader and casualty, litigating her way into the hearts of conservative viewers with Wi-Fi and opinions to spare. Conservative media is loving it. She's already being hailed as an icon, a fearless voice taking on liberal media theatrics armed with court filings and a perfect highlight filter. And the scariest part for her critics? She hasn't even raised her voice. The lawsuits are doing all the talking.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the...
This is where the tables turn, and not in the fun, reality show reunion kind of way. Usually, it's The View turning someone into a viral roast, toasting reputations like marshmallows at a bonfire. Now, they're the ones trending, not for sass or sound bites, but for mounting liability and a legal firestorm they can't meme their way out of. Karoline didn't just change the game, she rewrote the rules. She's not just mad at the media, she's monetizing it, packaging the outrage, tagging it, and shipping it out like primetime content. What was once a reaction is now a full-on business model, and the media? They're the product. Back at The View, the glitter is fading fast. The financial forecast is grim, and you don't need a CPA to see that high-profile lawsuits and PR disasters aren't exactly wallet-friendly. Add in dropping ratings, nervous fake applause, and sponsors sweating like they're on a lie detector, and you've got the recipe for a slow-motion collapse. Even die-hard fans are noticing the shift. What once felt sharp and fiery now comes off rehearsed and padded. The banter is brittle, the laughs thin, and it's hard to sparkle while bleeding legal fees. Rumors of host shakeups and production pauses are growing louder, and ABC executives are crunching numbers, figuring out how long they can keep this afloat before quietly pulling the plug and calling it a rebrand. And Karoline? She's not slowing down. Word is, her legal team has enough binders to open a satellite office, combing every frame for fresh ammunition. If The View so much as glances at the wrong headline, she's ready to file faster than anyone can say reckless defamation. Insiders say this is just phase 1. Karoline is taking on the entire liberal media landscape, methodically and without mercy. This isn't just about one talk show anymore, it's a strategic blueprint for turning outrage into influence. She's turned court filings into currency, visibility, and cultural leverage. If The View got scorched first, it certainly won't be the last. The slow-motion implosion isn't coming from viewers or falling ratings, it's coming from one sharp, determined woman who decided that if she couldn't outshout the media, she'd sue it into silence. To some, it's excessive, to her followers, it's revolutionary. Leavitt's crusade isn't a PR stunt, it's a manual for a new kind of warfare, trading debate for depositions and clapbacks for court dates. And The View is learning that lesson the hard way. Karoline isn't backing down, and at this rate, the show is heading towards syndication limbo, or worse, a permanent spot in the daytime graveyard, right alongside forgotten talk shows and late-night infomercials. The irony? The loudest show on television is being silenced, not by outrage or bored audiences, but by a stack of subpoenas and one woman who decided the punchline stops here. Call it karma, a reckoning, or simply Karoline with a capital L for lawsuit. And the only question left for The View might just be, does anyone know a good bankruptcy lawyer? Preferably one with a sense of humor. Because Karoline Leavitt just flipped the table, and this time, the joke is entirely on them.